Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakha Kwadash. I want to give double honors to our apostles / elders, which are of GMS, and blessings and salutations to you brothers out there teaching, enduring truth, sincerity. I was about to wind it back down, and upon doing so, I had came across a lesson the brother did going over the 11th hour, through the spirit. It moved me to do this lesson. Basically, I was procrastinating with it and kind of half about it, because I didn't know if it was proper to bring such information out. But as you can see here, it says determining the Hebrew hour. Where you hear about there's times 3 days you pray 3 days 3 times out of the day. I'm not going to go into that. The brother went into that, Lord's will. I put his link into the description, so y'all can catch that if it's the Lord's will. But I wanted to go over calculating the Hebrew hours. Okay. So in here it says a Hebrew hour is defined as a 1/12 of the time between sunset and the sunrise, or 1/12 of the time between sunrise and sunset. The only scripture reference to there being 12 Hebrew hours in the Hebrew day is found in St. John chapter 11 verse 9, which we're going to get, where the Messiah asks a famous question: are there not 12 hours in a day? Says the diagram below is a working timepiece where the sun position indicates the current Hebrew hour at Jerusalem. One Hebrew hour ends, another begins, and the center of the sun crosses our line, Salakia. So you see this is basically a diagram. Is showing the first watch, second watch, third watch, fourth watch, with increments of 3 hours out of that hour. All right, which the Lord referenced to certain watches. Which this is actually a good depiction. Only thing about this is that the time is off. You know what I'm saying? So, it's probably over there in the Middle East, you know what I'm saying? So that's why it's at the 9th hour. Technically it's about the first hour, I would assume. Matter of fact, we're going to get this scripture. Right here it says, St. John chapter 11 verse 9, says, Yahweh Shai answered, are there not 12 hours in a day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world. All right. So basically, what we're getting at here is I had calculated it, right. So let me get the so brothers can see everything. I want the Hebrew sunrise and sunset. You know what? I'm just gonna go here, right. So you go sunrise. Sunrise time is 6:48. That's why I say it's the first hour, because as you see on my own phone, it's 7:17. All right. So sunset time, that's at 8:02. So that's I believe that's a total of 13. So it's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's a total of 13. Okay. So basically that's 1 hour above the normal 12-hour period. See, the thing about time is that we have the natural elements. Esau tried to bring in clocks and things like that when we got the sun and the moon, because the scripture says what? Matter of fact, I have to get in the Apocrypha. Matter of fact, I can get in Apocrypha, but I'm gonna get in Genesis. Shalakia. Alright, so Genesis chapter 1 verse 14, it says, God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. Okay, so that's showing here that the lights in the firmament are for signs, for days, for seasons, and for years. So it's basically how you calculate the year. That's why when you talking about monthly counting, we go according to the moon. The new moon indicates the new month, and then 7 days after that, that's your first Shabbat. The new moon is respected as a Shabbat, so that's why at the end of the month, there's like technically 2 Shabbats, really one, but the new moon is treated as one, so they kind of blend together. Sometimes it's a day apart, sometimes it's 2 days apart. On average, the days are 28 and a half is basically 4 weeks, and then like a half a day counting for the month, and then a half a day counting for the next month. So in that situation, we have the natural elements that give us the time of the month. The time of the month. It's the first day of the month, second day, and that's how you calculate when the Passover is, when the Pentecost is, when these high holy days are, because you don't see January, February, March, blah, 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 in the scriptures, right? You don't see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So how can a Sabbath be Friday sundown, Saturday sundown type of deal, right? So we go off the lunar calendar, right? And now when you talk about counting the hours in the day, it's the same concept. We have the same devices that the Most High created, not Esau's Julian calendar, not Esau's clock or watch. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem with the society, is that people don't know how to count the hours. Why? Because you don't get up at the normal hours. You don't get up at the normal hours. Here it is. I got to go to sleep because I got to go to work, during like overnight and things like that. So I got to have energy. But dealing with Esau, they don't respect the laws. Basically, when the sun go down, you're not supposed to be working. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to pay that person before the sun go down, and that's the end of that day, right? You're not supposed to work on a Shabbat. You know what I'm saying? They don't honor none of that. You know what I'm saying? When the sun comes up, that's when when the cock crow, that's why the roosters do what they do in the morning, naturally. But here it is. Esau will tell you that shit was spontaneous, that they do that in the morning, man. That's the Most High, man. That's what it says in the last lesson I did. The Most High creates things, and we created in the spirit, manifests to us in the flesh, such as the rooster crowing in the morning upon sunrise, right? And then you got the sunset, all right? So basically, going back into the calculation of it, so that's 13 hours, right? You got 13. I'm counting by the hours. Then you divide 13. There's 12 hours in a day, no matter how long the sun rises and sunset. Remember, the sun rises basically at 7 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? And the sun sets basically at 8 o'clock. So that's a total of 13 hours, not 12, because 7 to 7 is 12, right? So you would divide that by 12, right? And that'll get you 1.8, all right? Now, if that's hard to understand, it's basically an hour and some change, because that one is calculated by hour. So you can do 13. So it's 13 hours until the sun, from sunrise to sunset. And then you multiply that by 60, and that'll get you the proper number of minutes right there, right? Once you get there, then you divide that by 12, which is equivalent to the hours in the day, 65. So as of right now, specifically with this month, or this time frame, is 65 minutes. 1 hour is equivalent to 65 minutes. Now, during the winter, I'm gonna hit you with something during the winter, right? You can have the sun to come up at like 8 o'clock and a set at like 7. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically like 11 hours in a day. You know, and you multiply that by 60, right? You get your number here, and then you divide that by 12. That gets you 55 minutes in a day. So actual hour will be 55 minutes. Let's say I think the darkest time of the year, it was like the sun was going down at like 6 o'clock. Sun come out like 8. Basically, it was like a point where it's 45 minutes a day, but I'll just do 10, you know, just to be reasonable, you know. So Salakia times that by 60, right? Then you divide that by 12. You know, it's 50. That's 50 minutes in an hour. So basically, it's showing you what I'm going over here is showing you that you have the first hour, second hour, third hour, what the brother was going over, showing you that, you know, these hours here, you know, the brothers will say, you know, it's about this time, but this is how you basically calculate it. It's based off of the sun up, the time the sun comes up, and the time the sun goes down, how many hours between that time frame. So right now, specifically, the sun comes up at 7, goes down at 8. That's 13 hours. You divide that 13 by 12, and you would get the actual amount of hours that you would count during that day. So you would start off at about, really it's like 6:58, you know, and like the apostles always say, how can the Lord come out at the darkest time of the year, which is the winter? Basically, the sun is not out as much, you know. One time I calculated, it was about 45 minutes to an hour. You know what I'm saying? So basically the hours were 45 minutes during that winter period, you know. And then the time, you know, the time of sleep are very, you know, just based off how the sun and the moon operates, man. So Esau doing a daylight savings time and pushing an hour back and pushing an hour forward. That because they can't put the Most High's time in the box. They can't control the Most High's time. You know what I'm saying? The Most High can accelerate it, just like, or the Most High could prolong it, just like he did with Jonathan. You know what I'm saying? And when they were fighting, the Most High kept the sun up. You know what I'm saying? So they can continue fighting. So we're not the ones controlling time here. We can't sit there and set a clock and expect that clock to work. That's why Esau gotta set the time back an hour and set the time forward an hour. So that's pretty much what I wanted to get into. I want to say the Wadi How by Shimi Al Shai for the brother for presenting that lesson. Let me see. I'm gonna get the name of the lesson, but I will get the link in the description. The brother is the lesson is on GMS Born Again. GMS the 11th hour. You know, and I will again put the description in the link. You know. So I want to say call law to y'all by Shimi Al Shai, double honor side apostles / elders with your GMS, and blessings and salutations to you brothers out there teaching and enduring truth sincerity. Hey, shalom.